Zipsimmers, welcome back to cristina.zipsims. Today I'm gonna do something pretty different, which is actually a two-part series where I'm gonna build a pottery and coffee shop with a flat above for whoever is working there. And this is gonna be quite fun because this is the first time that I'm actually building a business. Since Businesses and Hobbies came out like earlier this year, I was besotted with it because I'm like a huge pottery fan. I used to do it in high school, so I always felt like a huge connection with it, and I used this pack like endlessly in like all of my builds, whether I play for myself or I'm doing something for the channel. I've been using this pack all over. But I actually realized that I've never done a business before, and actually while playing I've never opened one, so I was like, this has got to change. So today we're gonna do like the first part of the series, which is gonna be a first video where we're gonna build together a pottery and coffee shop, and then there's gonna be like a huge space outside. This is gonna be like quite fun. And then on the second part we're actually gonna build a flat above and like look around for like a backyard. So this has been like one of my best builds so far. I know that I always say in every video, but it's because you actually like get better every time you build even more. And this was like so much fun because I actually decided to just go for the business and hobbies part and just the base game, just to make it like even more interesting. So I started off with the pottery and coffee shop. It actually started off as a pottery studio, but it kind of changed in between because I kind of like left that idea of just doing that because I've done pottery in high school, and I always thought, you know, if I were to open a business, I would love to have a pottery studio. And I was like, you know, I worked in coffee for like so many years, so I was like, this is gonna be like such a good idea. I'm sure there's like so many already like pottery studios with a coffee shop, but I was like, you know what, this would be like a dream business to have for me. And so I was like, yeah, let's build it. I kind of like changed when I got into it. I kind of like changed the idea of how it was gonna look. I actually wanted to have like separate entrance and like the main area and like a kind of like different areas to then get like onto the flat, and like having like some sort of like not a pantry, but like, you know, a space where to hold something, kind of like a storage room. But then I kind of changed the idea in between because I was like, this looks like so small when you don't put everything together. So I kind of got rid of like all the like most of the walls and just kept the one for the toilets. And I actually didn't use the toilets that you get from the Business and Hobbies pack, which are like quite nice, but I thought they were like so huge and like they wouldn't like really fit in the design. I ended up like changing what it looked from the outside too, but I was like, you know what, this is gonna look much nicer if we do it by hand instead of just using like a cubicle. And I kind of like how it came out in the end. It's very kind of like more homey than a cubicle and like nicer. And I really wanted to give like this pottery studio and like coffee shop, like, you know, a place where you really want to hang out, where you really want to go and like do pottery, but also have a coffee, share like memories with your friends or your family. Like, it's a nice place and like a cozy place where you want to go and hang out. So I kind of like went for that vibe. In terms of what I use like on the walls, I love this like these sticker walls for in the Business and Hobbies pack. And while I'm not a huge fan of pink usually, I thought that this like really came out and make it like really warm for like the main area where we're gonna have like basically everything, like the coffee, the kind of like the coffee and like counter basically, and where there's gonna be also like the rest of like the pottery wheels and like the kiln and stuff. And I thought, you know what, this is gonna like look nice even if it's in pink. Actually, I'm like kind of like getting back to like, you know, not re-loving pink because I've never like really liked it, but you know, like giving it another kind of like another chance. So then at the entrance, every business is gonna have like these basically like these desks where you like well, like Sims come in and they can basically just pay for like what they want, so like a lesson in pottery, or like, you know, build something and stuff, or even have coffee. I think for like the coffee they might order from the counter, but I'm not really sure because I haven't played with it yet, funny enough. And so yeah, there's like this little space at the entrance. I wanted to still make it like kind of like really cozy instead of having just a space where you're like, oh, you know, I'm just ordering coffee. So I think it looked pretty nice. And next off, I created like in the nook between like the toilets and like what is gonna be like the main area, I decided to go for like something. It actually came out just as like a little like place where you could hang out, and then when it became like actually a coffee shop, I thought, you know what, this actually fits the idea. It actually fitted the idea since the beginning. And so yeah, you're gonna have like basically at the entrance you enter and you're gonna have like the desk where like people can actually book their lessons, and then just after you're gonna have like, I found these big displays and shelves where we're gonna put basically like a lot of trinkets and stuff that you can do in pottery classes. I thought it was like a nice idea to show off basically what the Sims can sell and you can actually buy when you get in. So a lot of vases, incense holders, and like there's like these nice gnomes, and also you're gonna find like candle holders. I think they look like very nice because they are like, you can see they're like done by hand, and I just love them. So there's been a lot of back and forth, as I said before, and how I had like the initial idea and then how it really came out, because I wanted to actually have more pottery wheels, because I was like, you're not gonna have like a whole pottery studio with just a few of them. So I kind of changed the entrance for the flat and put it outside, and then just kind of like changed everything. As you can see, there's a lot of stools, which I actually took off in the end because I realized that you don't really need a stool to use it because it's like integrated into it. So I was like, you know, at the beginning I didn't know, so I was like, let me put a stool on everything. Then I decided to have like this main area, basically this like wooden table, very simple, but just like showing off like pieces of what you can do. There's like a bit of paint and like, you know, nice well, I mean like nice trinkets and stuff that can show off. Or like you also are gonna there's also gonna be like a lot of stools around just to like see, and basically being like a main area where like a sim can maybe like teach pottery and like, you know, explain maybe like the explain how it works, or like the different kinds of pottery that you can do. And I thought like this was a nice idea to like have it like in the center of the room and basically be not the center of the attention, but like, you know, there could be a teacher there and like, you know, looking at all the pottery wheels and stuff. So I think that's like kind of like the idea of the main area. It looks kind of crowded simply because I wanted to make it look like it's like a business that it's like really used. And so yeah, back to the then it actually came to the time where I decided to actually make it into a coffee shop. So I actually picked this counter. I kind of decided to go very simple in terms of what I was gonna use for the counter and stuff. I just didn't want to make it like too huge or have like a big display, simply because the spaces were not large enough in the end. But I thought, you know, at the end of the day it was more of a pottery studio and a coffee shop, so I just wanted to give more space to like, you know, kilns and wheels and stuff, so that they had like kind of like enough space to work on. I absolutely love from this pack, from the Business and Hobbies pack, there's like these plants, these hanging fans, which I really love, and you got like different switches for them, and I think they look like pretty nice to be basically everywhere. I actually put them in almost all of my builds. As I said, I'm obsessed with this pack. And so yeah, kinda like then I started off to do even like sitting areas and stuff. So I had some sittings just in front, in like kind of like at the entrance, because I was like, you know, entrances kind of like get difficult because you get like a patio, but then you're like, it's also a shop. It's not like this space is not really a home, so you're like, not just a home. So yeah, and being not just a home, you're like, okay, you just have to add some stuff. And I kind of got muffins and like some candles, and also like I really love these like wall lights from this pack, which are really nice, very simple, but like having to effect. And like also like they do offer just one rug, but I really love like how it looks, very much like not kind of businessy, but it like feels like home, but like I don't know, kind of like a very old coffee shop, and I really love it. It just adds that kind of like that vibe. Inside, then I decided again to like switch things up and add maybe like more shelvings, more plants, because some walls I didn't really want to put like a lot of all the windows in there, just because it was gonna be like the backyard is gonna be used by the family. But then I kinda decided to use them anyway, because I was like, this is not gonna have enough light. For the backyard, backyard, it's not like really front yard. For the space outside, I decided to have kind of like half and half, where it would be like the space for the family living upstairs and the space for the shop. I honestly had so much fun landscaping this business and like building the space outside, both for the family and the business itself. I kind of got like used to, well, not used to. I think I landscaped like probably 4 or 5 times, but I'm kind of like having fun because you can build on top of everything. Basically, you like put bushes, and then you got flowers, and then you can like layer up with other plants, other flowers, rocks, and then like spray paint with a bit of like, you know, earth and stuff. And I think it's kind of like getting like so much fun. So basically everything is gonna be enclosed by bushes, kind of like everywhere. I just decided to also enclose like the perimeter, simply because I wanted to make it like more homey, but also like, you know, you don't want to like have people like running inside while you're having your coffee. You do have like the edges that kind of like separate you from the sidewalk. And then as a space in between, like as like kind of like as I divide in between the backyard and the front yard for the business, there's like these huge planters which are from the Business and Hobbies pack, which I absolutely love. This one are also like very used in my build, and I found like actually these like sittings in stone. I am not sure if I actually got them from the cheats, from the cheat, which is like to get like the show lived in objects or wherever you can find around. And I decided to go for like very, very simple like wooden chairs and tables, and then like to have all these to have like umbrellas everywhere, like for each space, so that you can like kind of like mark them, and also like kind of have your own little area. On the other side, I actually decided, well, you know, you also get like the not so cool stuff of like Businesses and Homes. So you got like a bin area just right at the end near the stairs for the flat, and also added some like bicycles, simply because I thought, you know what, I think it's gonna look like someone just stopped by and like go, or like someone that works there actually comes by bike. I don't know, I just love them. It's kind of like the only transportation that you get from this park, and I was like, we are gonna add it anyway. So as I said before, bushes and well, basically like landscaping kind of like came in very handy, because it enclosed like everything and kind of make it look like more put together. And I really love how like all these flowers you can just like layer them. There's been a lot of back and forth with like where I wanted to place like the tables, and like a lot of changes. I actually moved even the whole building, simply because I thought, you know what, you want to have like a lot of space outside. Inside there's not much space for sitting. There's like a very few seats. So I was like, we actually have to go very big on the outside. And I just really love them, because it's like such a nice space that you can actually enjoy even when it's colder. I know you're like, maybe in winter it's gonna be more difficult, but I think it's like such a nice kind of like quaint space that you're gonna enjoy on kind of like for every season. and I did use a lot of flowers. I kind of like go over it after I did like the last one, which was the Homon Sulani, which kind of like I spent probably more time like landscaping than anything else, and I just got kind of like acquainted with like all the flowers and rocks and stuff that you can get on the game, and I was like, you know what, this is gonna look nice. I think it can be defined like very maximalist when I when I landscape, but I really love how it came out in the end, and I think it really gives like a very nice lived-in space. And the last thing I wanted to add, there's like kind of like a tiny space in between the front yard and like the backyard that I was like, this is gonna look like very empty, and I just didn't want to put like more bins and stuff, because then you could see them from like the wooden dividers and stuff. So I was like, you know what, we're gonna put a fountain, and it looks very much like someone kind of like forgot to probably do the to like clean up the garden, but I thought it looked very nice just to have like kind of a more wilder space, like just in between the things, and to have just a simple like sitting area. I thought it looked very much like fairy like. Anyway, this is the whole walkthrough of the downstairs, and then in the next episode we're actually gonna see what I did on the upstairs floor, and I'm quite excited for you to see it. I had so much fun building these, and this is actually the first business that I brought to the channel, so I really hope you enjoyed, and that you are gonna find actually a lot of like useful thing to do for your own business, or that you can actually download it from the gallery on the EA gallery. So I really hope you enjoyed, and thank you so much again for watching and for getting to the end of this. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next build. Bye.